Alright you lot, how's it going? Hope you're all fine and dandy, looking after each other and yourselves, as usual I hope. The last time we had a look at this wonderful old chainsaw. Well, I knew the problem anyway, because the reason why it was parked up, so to speak, was because the throttle linkage snapped off, and then I lost it amongst a sea of stuff on the bench, and I've never found it since. It's been about 3, maybe 4 years since this ran. I got it running in the last video. Some people said that I should take it to someone who knows what they're doing. Well, the thing is, if I take it to someone who knows what they're doing, that's no fun for me, and I wouldn't have anything to film. You know, I spent, let's see, most of my life repairing chainsaws and other engines and bits and bobs. So if I was to take it to somebody and pay them to do it, well, that'd defeat the object, really. But I know you were joking anyway. So, let's have a look to see what I got in this box. Now, this box, partially paid for by a wonderful subscriber. One of my subscribers I should say, said to me, well, he found a few parts on eBay. I said, that's not what I need. And I found what I need. It was what is now in this box. But the trouble was, it come with a load of other spare parts, which I didn't need, or don't need. But I might need them in the future, I suppose. And he said, you know what, I'll send you some dollar and we'll pay half each. So this is partially funded by one of you wonderful subscribers. He goes by the name of Alfie Fury, by the way. So let's have a look to see what else is in this box. I have opened it up because I wanted to make sure that what I actually needed was actually in the box. So we can have a little look to see, well, what else I've actually got as well. See, I didn't initially want any other parts, you know. I said, I found this bit, I sent a message to the seller of this stuff, and I said, I don't want the rest of it, all I want is a throttle linkage, will you sell that separately? And he said, no. So I said, okay. And then when Alfie come along and he was sending me all the links to all these bits, I was like, they're not the bits I need, I don't want that. It's not the right stuff. I know I found one that's got the bit that I want, but I'm not paying for the rest of the stuff. And, you know, he was just like, no. I'll help you out. So, I've ended up now, I've got bags and bags. Look, I've got a spare exhaust. That might come in handy, assuming it's any good, with one spare bolt as well. Yeah, bit of an argument, bit of a topic here. Put in the comments, right? If there is such thing like this, right, that would be known as a bolt. However, in my opinion, if it's got a screw head where you can use a flathead or a Phillips, yeah, it's now a screw. It's a bolt if it has a bolt head on it. You know what I mean? It's a bolt if it's got a head for a bolt. And it's a screw if it's got a screw. I can't find a bolt. But everybody knows what a bloody bolt looks like. I can't find a bolt when I need a bolt. Anyway, put it in the comments. Is it still a bolt or is it a screw? To me, that is a screw. Anyway, let's find this. So I've got various bits in here. That I've got screws and probably some bolts. And there's pads and filters and this bloke has literally just dismantled the chainsaw. It'd have been better off if he wanted to sell everything as a job lot for parts. It'd have been better off just keeping it as one whole chainsaw and selling that. We've got a flywheel with a nut and a washer stuck to the magnet, and we've also got one broken off missing fin, unfortunately, but this might still come in handy because it'll be slightly unbalanced, but it will still work if, well, to get you out of trouble basically. So that'll come in handy. What else we got here? We got a side cover. That might come in handy if I break mine, so that'll be nice to have. It looks like it's in good condition, a little bit dirty, didn't bother to clean it, but that'll be okay. So we've got a side cover, and then in here we've got the rest of the covers basically. It looks like we've got a bearing still intact in there. he's just literally just taken this whole lot apart. There was no need to do that, was there, Mr. Seller? You could have just sold this as one whole chainsaw and we would have been happy as Larry. So this is a 1985 chainsaw. I'm just looking at the serial number there. I have no idea what that means. So loads of debris in there. But anyway, there we go. And then we got a chain brake handle. That might come in handy if I break mine. Mine's a 1982, but it's still roughly the same. So there we go. There are all the other spare parts that we've got in with all of this. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'll probably put them keep them in a box, just in case anything else breaks, I suppose. And at least I've got all these other spare parts. The thing that we need is this. This is the elusive throttle linkage. This is the trigger. There's the trigger, look, and it just slots into place. That goes along. That hooks over the little pin that comes out of the carb on the butterfly, and then it literally just goes like that. Won't see, it's probably like that, but that's how it is. So let's go and put it on, shall we? Alright, what do we need to take off? We've got to take all this off again, and then we should be able to get to it. I've got to take off the handle and split it apart. So I think I'm going to make up some sort of air filter to go in there, because this is pretty much all we got. But yeah, and I've got to make the stop button work. So we've got to take out these screws, these screwers. Take these out. And once I've taken these out, we'll be able to get to the carb again, and then I can have a look to see what I need to take off in order to split the handle up, and we can go from there. I'm going to get a better screwdriver. Oh, that's a point. I wonder, I've always been missing the one screw that goes in there. I've got the one here that holds this case down this side, and the one here. But ever since day one when I bought this, it's been missing that one. So hopefully in that little bag of stuff I might have the one screw that I'm missing. My chainsaw is going to be the nuts. Do you know what I've noticed is actually missing though? The bar is missing and the chain. There is no bar or chain. It would have been nice if there had been a bar and if there had been a chain, but basically what it is everything apart from the engine and the chain and bar in it. Oh, there isn't this handle. I don't know what the crack is with it, but anyway, let's get all this taken apart and have a look, see what I need to do. I've got a problem, but before I show you what the problem is, I want to show you lot these, because this is the last chance for these now. This set of vernier pulleys, which I bought mistakenly about 15 or 16 years ago. I can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them. There's about £300 worth here, and you know, if anybody wants them, they're proper things. They're not what you've got, advance and retard, and they're made by that company there, Turbo Sport. Proper things. If anybody wants them, let me know, because if not, they're going in the scrap bin. There's a pair of them, the other one's here. They're for like a Ford. I bought them because I was going to put one of the old Ford ST engines in one of my Citroen Saxos I had when I was a bit younger. Never got round to it, but I bought a load of parts, and this was some of the parts I bought, but never used them. So still brand new, but they've just been sitting around. If anybody wants them, let me know. If you want to give me some money for them, that would be even better. But if not, I just want to get rid of them. I don't want to scrap them, but I will do because they're laying around. Yeah, that is the last call. So anyway, the problem I've got is this, because this is the petrol tank, all this handle here, that's the petrol cap, all the petrol goes in here, this is all the petrol tank. It's not actually screwed together, it doesn't seem. I'm pretty certain that it's glued together. So that means there is said throttle linkage, but there it is, moving around. And that is the two little pins that I need to try and get apart in order to put another, take this one out and put another one in. but it's glued together. So I'm going to have to, I think, heat it up a little bit and try and pry it apart. I can't see, if I take that off, I don't think I'm actually going to gain any access to the petrol tank. I might undo that and see if I can. But I don't think, I think this is all glued. I looked inside the petrol tank and you can see that it is glued together. It is, you know, it's got to be sealed, isn't it? Because all the petrol is all in here, you know. So the whole lot, I think, is glued together. I'm going to have a little rummage around just to make sure, but if not, I'm going to try and pry the top part apart, not the bottom part in case it leaks. I'm just going to pry apart this top bit, see if I can get it enough to get that out. I'll have to see how that's going to go. Right, there she be. So I have to take out the whole lot because this has got like a little locking thing on it. Well, this is the new one. There's a little locking thing there, right, so that you can lock the throttle about halfway open roughly. And what that means is so that when you start it, you can lock the throttle halfway open with the choke on, and then when you pull it, it'll rev up. You just squeeze the trigger, and it'll go back down to tick over. So that goes, this little bit here goes inside in there, but when it's all together. So I managed to heat this up. It turns out this plastic's very malleable when it's heated up even just slightly, so that means I can heat it up lovely jubbly like that in there. And I managed to just pry that open gently and get that to move, and unhooked it from its little pins down in there. But then I had to get it off of this, and it wasn't happening. There wasn't a space in there, so I had to take off the carb, heat up a little bit more to pry that bit open a little bit, get that out there. Then it went ding, come out lovely jubbly. Get rid of that one, put this one in there, and that in there. Hopefully, when I put it together, everything will be fine. But you don't know until the job is done. When the job is done, and it's all back together again and working absolutely brilliantly, that's when you know you've had a happy day. So I've had to, because I managed to get the old linkage and that out without taking it apart. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I've had to split the tank from the rest of the chainsaw, take the bar off and everything like that. These bushes are split perfectly, which is brilliant, so it should just all go back together nicely, hopefully, once I get this back in here. The carbs are still on it because the petrol was going shooting out, because where I was heating up that, it was heating up the tank, which was pressurising it, pushing the petrol out. So I've attached the carb to stop the petrol from shooting out. But nearly there. Well, most of it back together now. You know when you get to that stage when you start saying to yourself, well, do I even need that anyway? That's where I was. I was thinking, do I even need a throttle? I don't need a throttle. But never mind, done it anyway. I cut there and I cut there. Some of you lot are probably going to be going, you don't need to cut that there, you don't need to cut that. There's a way of doing it. You do this, you do that, and you jiggly jangle it. Oh, I don't care for that kind of stuff. So I cut it there and I cut it there, and then what I'm going to do, once it's all back together, I'm going to get some soupy glue, and I might even plastic weld that. I've got a plastic welder somewhere, but if not, I'd use a soldering iron, clamp that together with a very strong clamp, and plastic weld across there and across there, and it'll hold that back together, and that'll be fine and dandy. But there's our culprit. That is what we did. See that black there, that goes along there, and then all that does is literally, that's the throttle. That is it. That's what all of this was all about. So there's the old trigger, and that's where the old one broke off, and that's where it attaches there. So now we've got that, I'm just going to put it all back together. The stop button doesn't work. I'm putting it back on, but it didn't work anyway. the case is cracked there. That fell off. That's been broken for years and years. I've never taken any of this off before, so it come off anyway, but I'll leave that like that. That'll be fine. And we don't need part of that case anyway, so sweet. Right, let's put all this back together, put the clutch back together, put the chain and the bar back on, and then we can yeah man, start her up and see how she runs. Oh man, the excitement is actually like immense. So there she is, all put back together. I don't think the stop button is going to work. There's an issue with that. I don't know what that is. I've still got a plastic weld that back together, but we can start her up. I think the chain's a bit too tight. I'll have to loosen that a little bit. But we can try and start her up, make sure everything's okay. And yeah, I think I'll start up the bigger brother as well. I'll get the big brother out in a minute and start that up as well. But let's get this one going first. Here we go. Let's see. Put petrol in it because there weren't no petrol in it. So we'll try it without the choke first, because it's quite warm at the moment. Let's see. That's in the on position. That don't work. Stop with the choke. The stop switch is obviously a problem with the way it grounds, or maybe the wire's broken further down. Yeah, if you want to stop it, you've got to stop it with the choke, but that's alright. That's not the end of the world. I'll loosen that chain a bit because it's a little bit tight. Other than that, happy days. Throttle works. I'll plastic weld all that back together, and we've got ourselves a fully working chainsaw. I think the oil pump's definitely working because we're dripping oil all over the place. Perfect. Now this one is what I call the big brother to that one. Obviously it's a different brand altogether and quite a bit newer. I bought this one to replace that one when it broke because I needed to cut down some trees. I'd already said I'd do, I can't remember who it's for now. Who was it for? Might have been for my dad, I think. I promised I'd go and cut down some trees, but then that chainsaw broke, so I was like, I ain't got no chainsaw, so I had to go and buy this one. This is about 5 or 6 years ago now, and this has been a very good chainsaw ever since. I've used this one obviously instead of that one. There's some petrol in there, not loads. Hopefully there'll be enough to get it going. But it's probably, the last time I started this, I did do a video of it. Probably must be about 2 months ago. So it's been sitting, I haven't used it since then, so it's been sitting about 2 months. So we'll put the choke on. Yeah, we'll put the choke on, that's all working. Let's see what the crack is with this one. Is this one gonna, this one sounds like a little dirt bike when this one goes. light weren't even on. That one's actually got an on and off switch that works. But yeah, very good, very good. Right, that's the end of that then. That's the end of chainsaws. Lovely. I'm in the middle of saving some dollar, you know, saving money, so I'm having these for dinner. It's a lot cheaper than buying actual food, you know, like by the time you've bought mince meat and potatoes and other bits and bobs and spaghetti and whatever else for dinner, you get 2 of them pizzas for £1. £1. So for 2 days you spent £2, you got 2 dinners. So there we go. Living on a budget, you lot. I'll catch you lot later on. Thanks for watching. All the best. Love life, love each other. Treat everyone equally, no matter who they are and who you are. And we'll all have a happy life. Ciao for now.